Turn it down in there.
I'd like to call this meeting of the Festus City Council to order. Roll call, please.
Councilman Tinnen,
Yes.
Councilman Vans,
Yes.
Councilman Wilkie.
Yeah.
Councilman Underwood.
Yes.
Councilman Boyer. Here. Councilman Dennis.
Yes.
Councilman Weiner.
Here.
Councilman Cook.
Present and waving.
We have a quorum. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please have a seat. I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda for this evening. The amount of the bills tonight is $455,747.38.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Tinnen,
Yes.
Councilman Vans,
Yes.
Councilman Wilkie,
Yes.
Councilman Underwood,
Yes.
Councilman Boyer. Yes. Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
and Councilman Cook.
Yes.
Motion passes. Remarks of visitors.
We did not receive any.
Bids.
There are none.
Tonight, we have bill number 4617 on the agenda. Would the clerk please read the bill?
Bill number 4617, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to enter into and execute an intergovernmental agreement with Jefferson County 911 Dispatch, incorporating said agreement as a part of this ordinance and establishing an effective date.
Could I have a staff report, please?
This is the agreement that we've been working 2 years with county to take over our dispatching, allowing us to use their facilities for dispatching. It's an agreement we made that once we get this approved, we can start taking the steps to upgrade our dispatching center. Numerous pieces of the radio equipment are in, and we're just awaiting this and ready to go. They passed theirs at their last council meeting, and they're waiting our passage of this. It's been a long, almost 3 years now.
Is there any discussion?
I'm happy to see that we're not going to have holes in our radio reach for the police officers anymore, than that their safety is will be elevated because of this.
Yes, and that is a key. Take it from someone who has been on the road and in the blank spots. It's tough when you don't have radio communication with other officers or with dispatch. So, is there any other discussion? Could I entertain a bill or entertain a motion to suspend the rules and read Bill 4617 for the second time? Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, would the city administrator please read the bill for the second time in title only?
Bill number 4617, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to enter into and execute an intergovernmental agreement with Jefferson County 911 Dispatch, incorporating said agreement as a part of this ordinance and establishing an effective date. Councilman Venz.
Yes.
Councilman Wilkie. Councilman Wilkie.
Yes.
Thank you. Councilman Underwood.
Yes.
Councilman Boyer.
Yes.
Councilman Dennis.
Yes.
Councilman White.
Yes.
Councilman Cook.
Yes.
Councilman Tinnen.
Yes.
Bill 4617 has passed. Chief, good job for the 3 years of work that it took to get all this put together. And we'd like to thank the voters who voted for the 1 cent increase to allow us to be able to have the funds to take care of these radios. So congratulations, Chief.
Thank you. It was a team effort. Doug Wendell had a lot to do with it, and Greg Camp helped us immensely. But again, that it finishes our 3 parts of that tax we passed. This is the 3rd part, and I'm very thankful.
Tonight we have Bill 4618. Would the city administrator please read Bill 4618?
Bill number 4618, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, approving the final plat of Birchwood Estates Phase 3 and establishing an effective date.
Bill 4618 is now up for discussion. Staff report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Councilman. This is the 3rd phase in Birchwood Estates, Giselle subdivision out on West Main. This would be the phase that completes where they have roads in now. It went to P&Z on Thursday night. They recommended sending it through to you all.
Hey, Mark, quick question. This is Mike Cook. Hey, we, the council required a sidewalk to go in connecting to the school. Do we know what phase that's going to be connected or when it's going to be connected? Because I know the kids are already are starting to live in that subdivision.
Absolutely. And actually, Councilman Weiner had mentioned that at the last meeting. I did meet with Giselle, spoke with them and with Greg, and it is in this phase. It's at the top of the last cul-de-sac there. And we agreed that, they were reminded they needed to do it. And we're going to wait until they get foundations and framing up. So as opposed to having a sidewalk in now and then having construction going on literally 3 and 4 feet away from it and open foundation holes. But they were made aware of it, and it will be in. We've actually I believe they have 5 permits in wait for this to be approved and recorded. And then it'll be actually started in those phases right away. I would say sidewalk, if I was guessing, I'd say it'd be in by the summer, beginning of summer.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You bet.
Is there any other discussion? If none, do I have a motion to suspend the rules and read Bill 4618 for the 2nd time in title only?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Would the city administrator please read Bill 4618 for the 2nd time in title only?
Bill number 4618, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, approving the final plat of Birchwood Estates Phase 3 and establishing an effective date. Councilman Wilkie.
Yes.
Councilman Underwood.
Yes.
Councilman Boyer.
Yes.
Councilman Weiner.
Yes.
Councilman Dennis.
Yes.
Councilman Cook.
Yes.
Councilman Tinnen.
Yes.
Councilman Venz.
Yes.
Bill 4618 has passed.
Thank you, gentlemen.
New business. Roadblock schedule for 2021.
This is identical to the one that was proposed for last year. I don't believe we actually held, or these organizations actually held any of these, but with the council's blessing, we'd like to at least potentially be able to say these groups that they'd be able to have them in 2021 with the depending on the situation as far as COVID's concerned.
Hey, Greg, that's my question. If we approve these tonight, what's the next step if they want to hold a roadblock function? I know we have the plan that they had to present to you in place, but does that grant approval on it? Let's say if we stay in the red, the COVID still is being, dealt with. All they got to do is to present a plan to you and it still moves forward, or does it come back to council for future considerations?
Mike, if you recall, and Brian Malone will recall some details of this. Brian, if I get this wrong, just let me know. But we set in place an ordinance that gives administration the ability to review a safety plan for an event that would be held while there is a state of emergency, which, if you recall, we have ours in effect currently until the end of June. They would have to present a safety plan that would be reviewed. If we felt it was inadequate, it would be denied. If we felt it was adequate, we would approve it. But they also have the ability to appeal any denial, and that would be to the full council.
Right. Yeah, I remember that ordinance. That was my question. So if we approve this tonight, then they are allowed to go forward as long as they present a plan.
And that plan is considered adequate to address the state of Missouri, the state of emergency that might be in place at the time. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion that we approve the 2021 roadblock schedule.
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Old business.
There is none.
Are we looking to set a record tonight? Okay. Mayor and City Council comments, reports. Councilman Cook.
Nothing to report, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Tenen.
One small item. And I know we've talked about this over the years, but I still get phone calls on the street going into Bailey Station from by West City Park. What is that? Chief, you know what it is? Hawk Point, thank you. The lighting down there. We have a lot of walkers and there's just no lights at all. And I know we've looked into it, but I don't remember why we can't get lights there. So I guess Matt, maybe you can check into that and see what we can do with that.
Yep, I'd be happy to.
Okay, that's all I got. Thank you.
Councilman Dennis.
Nothing, sir.
Councilman Wilkie.
I have nothing, sir.
Thank you. Councilman Weiner.
Just a couple things. I saw in Matt Unrein's report where he has if any of us have a request for potholes, to get a hold of Matt. So when I'm out walking now, I'm going to be having a pad and pencil in hand, and we run across a lot of potholes. So if you guys have noticeable potholes in your areas, get a hold of Matt so that we can get things cleaned up a little bit. We kind of bubble with another couple out past West City Park there, and night when I've come back for the last weeks, it seems like that the gates haven't been locked. And I thought it was just an oversight, and I had no idea that we actually weren't locking the gates out there anymore. And today I was talking with another gentleman who inform me like that all the Johnny on the spots have been, or not all, but some of the Johnny on the spots have been dumped over there. It's a little disconcerting for me to not, first of all, know that we weren't locking the parks. I mean, I thought, we were installing cameras in different parks to try and keep things safe and just to keep the gates open. If I would have known that, I would
Brian,
have.
I can interject for a second.
Sure.
So Josh and I talked about the possibility of leaving the park gates open. It saves them having to bring an extra person in early to open the gates. It saves the PD having to make sure the parks are secure. And we were going to wait to see where that took us. And for many months now, we haven't had any incidents at all. However, recently we did have some vandalism that did involve somebody turning over some porta potties. So Josh and I haven't had a chance to visit about that. We do have a staff meeting tomorrow, and we'll certainly be talking about the possibility of going back to the other way of doing it. But we thought that we've had a good run of not any problems in the parks, and wanted to see if we could forego the extra time and pay to see where that got us. And unfortunately, we did have an incident here recently.
Right. So, we passed that penny for the police. I'm all about the police being safe and having good radio communications, safety number one. I know that I thought that they were locking the gates up at night previously. If it's a manpower problem or whatever it may be, just a little disconcerting for me. That's all. And another thing that I think nobody else has mentioned it, but I think it needs to be said, that and I'm going to get some flack for this, I know, but in the police report, most of the officers chose not to get their vaccine shot when given the opportunity. And I understand personal rights, but from a council point of view, I mean, we're doing everything we can to keep them safe. And that's all I have to say about that. But that's all I have, sir.
All righty, thank you. Councilman Underwood.
I have nothing, sir.
Councilman Boyer.
Matt, out on the West Main there, on the west side of 55, when you're approaching 55, man, there's a lot of small potholes through there. We come there pretty frequently, and there's a lot of them right in succession down through there. Maybe we could look into that later on. Doug, I want to say I just found out about your wife today. Sorry to hear that she's been in such bad shape. We'll certainly have her in our prayers there, buddy.
Amen.
Thank you.
Out at the park, when we have folks out there cutting the grass and stuff like that, who picks up the dead wood? I've had somebody bring that to my attention again the other day.
Our parks crew does. So Josh, the two Kevins, and our guys are in charge of making sure that stuff gets picked up.
Okay. All righty. And let's see, one other thing. Thanks for putting that together for us to tour the Water Authority facility up there. That was pretty interesting, and certainly learned a lot up there about that. So thanks for putting that together, guys. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. Once again, I'd like to reiterate Councilman Venz. Sorry, Bobby.
Here we go.
I don't know how I missed you.
I see in your report there, Mr. City Administrator, the grass cutting.
Yeah.
I know, like we talked about last year,
Mhm.
will we be getting more cuts this year?
Yes. Yeah, that was one of the big parts of the discussion, was one, the two firms, originally those were contracts were executed as a 3-year agreement, but they were renewable single years.
Right.
So we wanted to make sure that we were comfortable with the two firms, mainly all seasons.
Right.
Because they get most of the cutting moving forward, and then tweaking the schedule. And Jim Walker, Mark, Josh, Matt, and myself had a chance to sit down and talk about some areas we felt needed some more cuts and some places that maybe didn't need as many that were on the original schedule. The net difference in cost, it's almost a wash. So with them being another year into the contract, them understanding, exactly where it is and how it is we want to cut, I think we'll probably have a much better job this year. And we'll be able to stay on them at the same time.
Well, because I was just concerned. I know we didn't have the firework festival, but whenever we do have it, we like it to look good for the town. And last year, if we would have had it, the town was not looking good with the grass situation. And it would have been really high, and because it didn't get cut as often as it should have.
Sure. Yeah, I think there are two pieces to that. One, the new contractor. I mean, Larry and Matt Clemens put a lot of effort into making sure that everybody that bid knew exactly what it is they were getting themselves into. There were 60 pages of maps that were part of that bid package. And I think there was some initial learning that needed to be done by the contractor.
Yeah.
Obviously, the pandemic didn't help. There for a while, everybody was just completely shut down. And you shut down in April and May, and the grass didn't shut down. So
Right.
I expect this year is going to be a lot better. And again, I say to all you guys, because we try to be eyes and ears all the time, but you guys go places sometimes that we don't always see. So if you see something, just give me a call, give Matt a call, and we'll make sure it gets addressed right away.
Yeah, and I knew it's his first year and they had to tweak it and everything. So but yeah, I hope we do get those bugs taken care of. And Matt, you had in your report, the Fifth Street project coming along. It is coming along really nice. And I know we're bidding for the Third Street project.
Actually, I think we're waiting for concurrence from MoDOT, right, Greg?
Third Street was bid and opened.
Right.
Jokerst got the contract for that. That was all sent off to Missouri Department of Transportation, in October?
Late September, early October. So they've been sitting on it.
Yeah.
We would expect that's going to be an early spring project as soon as we get the go-ahead from MoDOT.
Now, will both of them, or will the Fifth Street get paved and all that done well before naturally the Third Street? Or will they wait to pave everything at the same time, finish the paving, I guess?
We get to pick the start date, so.
Okay, well,
I don't know if we want any overlap there because of the obviously the amount of use the street gets, Fifth and Third Street get, especially with school traffic.
Okay, well, because those two streets in between there that connect the Third and the Fifth Street, or do we have any plans whenever we do the bidding, we're going to try to put those in with it?
Those aren't part of the project.
I know that. But
It's something we could certainly consider in our overlays. Obviously, I know Matt and Shane have been working on their grouping, their street groupings off of the 25-year plan.
Yeah.
So we can take a look at those at the same time.
Because I drove them, just that little short block, that's all it is. But, we got nice sidewalks going up Third and Fifth. And actually, there's no sidewalk. I know you don't need two, but I didn't know if we had any plans of putting a sidewalk on those two little streets just to, I don't know, to make it all, sidewalk, access for everybody.
Hey, Bobby,
So, I mean, if we could check
if I
into
could
that.
just interject here for a second, part of the deal with those streets was safe passage, like for all the running kids with cross country and everything. They were like arteries that were going out of the school. So we wanted safety going out and back, and they're really high volume areas and not so much with those crossroads. So those were the primary reasons for getting those sidewalks in where they are.
Oh, I know. Yeah, but it just, I figured if we got those roads finally sidewalk are they going to be eventually done? If we're going to do some overlaying or doing some work on those two little side streets, slap up a nice little sidewalk and it'd be done for many, many years to come. We'd have a nice sidewalk. I mean, I wouldn't think it'd be that much more to put a sidewalk in if the room allows it. I mean, the streets seem wide enough. So, I mean, it seems like we could put at least one sidewalk. Not have to do dual sidewalks like we're doing on Fifth Street, maybe Third Street, but just to have that sidewalk so people have a nice, because we want to eventually, Cromwell, we want that to be a sidewalk eventually down the road. And then that way that'll finish that whole side up. So I just was kind of wondering when we do look at it, if we could just see how much extra it would be to put the sidewalk in between those streets right there, just to connect it. And then that way it would all be done. Yep. But other than that, that's all I have, sir.
All righty. Thank you, Councilman. I apologize for leaving you out. Once again, I would like to emphasize wearing your mask, washing your hands, maintaining social distancing. And I would like to highly encourage those officers who opted not to get the shot to reconsider their decision. I already have mine. My age dictated that I could. I have mine, and I'm feeling more comfortable about being around people because of it. So I would highly encourage them to reconsider their decision. You have to deal with more people than I do, face to face. And as was mentioned before, we've done a lot of things to make sure that you all are safe. And I think this is a safety issue along with a health issue. So please reconsider.
Hey, Sam,
Yes, sir.
are we, as councilmen, I was talking to Greg a while back and he said something that we were going to be able to get the shots through the city, I guess.
Yeah,
Is that a
Jim, we're in,
possibility?
the city officials, we're in tier 3 of phase 1B, tier 3. We've had some good success. I was able to get a hold of Lisa Rothweiler at Comtree, and it looks like we'll be able to partner with them. I'm in the process of collecting information from those, just a name and a contact number from those who are interested. So if any of the council are interested, just let me know. You don't have to do it tonight. Just give me a holler tomorrow. And we can make sure that you're on the list that we'll submit about midweek. Don't know when the vaccines will be available, but you'll be on a list to receive them. We've been able to get some of our staff over at Public Works the first dose of the Pfizer vaccine last week. After talking with Lisa, she hollered at me that afternoon and she said, we have some and we need to use it up now. We're not going to let this go to waste. So we were able to send some people over then to get their first dose. But if anyone is interested, any of the council that haven't received it already or made plans to receive it, just let me know. And we'll make sure that you're on that list that we'll submit to Comtree.
Sounds good. Hey, I wanted to add real quick. And then I know you guys are ready to go, especially Mike. That water tour was really interesting. I learned a lot. I had no idea that was that, I'm going to say, complicated. I pictured it in my mind way differently, and that's a pretty good size operation over there. And seems like the guys that work there for sure take an interest in it there, and they seem to be very proud to be part of that. And that's all I got to say. So thank you for.
Is there any other comments? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Everybody now. So moved.
Okay, Mike.
I think we can figure out a second for that motion. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, meeting adjourned.